Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I have a card that was actually inspired by a craft shopping channel, and that is Create and Craft TV. It's this. I've decided to call it a split panel triple easel card. This was shown as a Creative Expressions program. They were showing all the various design team members' cards, and when I saw this, I fell in love immediately, and I knew I just had to try it. As you can see, it sits flat on the surface, so it's a little different, but also it folds down like that, so that when you post it, it is completely flat. It is not very difficult to make. It might seem a little complicated, but I assure you it is not. So if you would like to learn how to make this split panel triple easel card, stick with me and I'll show you how. This is the shape that we're looking for. These are 3 easels that have been cut from this 10 by 7 sheet of card. Now I made this pattern to cut these out on my scanning card because it's a file that I wanted to keep so that I could use it again and again. But I'm also going to show you how you can do this without the aid of a cutting machine. So we'll start with, as I said, your sheet of 10 by 7 or whatever size you want to make it. I'm making a 5 by 7 card, so that's why I'm starting with this. I'll put it in the scoreboard and create the card blank for it. So it's down the middle at the 5-inch mark. We'll just fold and burnish that. Now, whatever size card you've decided to make, you need to divide it into 3 equal panels, into 3 equal horizontal panels along the front of the card. In this case, it was 2.33 inches, which was easy enough to do on the scanning card because I could do that in increments easily on there. But if you don't, if you have a ruler that has 1/16 of an inch, then that would be 2 5/16. Or if you don't have a ruler that has 16th increments in it, then you could come to the 1/4 of an inch and then just scoot it along a little bit. Or if you don't want to be bothered, just mark it at 2 1/4 here, and you'll have a little bit of a wider panel at the top, but it's not going to make a whole lot of difference. I'm going to just mark this out now to show you how you'll do this. You'll come into, and as I said, 5/16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's my first one, and my second is here. So we can see that we have 2 5/16 at the top. I want to do the same over here. So starting at the same point, 2 5/16, or if you have a T-square, you could use that instead of having to plot this out on both ends. And then just connect these two. These 2 marks here. just a light pencil mark will do. Then you're going to get your scissors out, or your trimmer if you want to. I think scissors is probably easier to do this with. And then just cut down these lines. Of course, making sure that you don't cut through the actual fold here. So just cut just shy of that, because you can see here on the one I used on the Scan and Cut, it comes right up to that fold. And there you have it. That's one, and then you just cut this one. And then I would go back and take out those little pencil marks, rub those out. And now you need to do some folding. Now this is where the easel part comes into play. As you can see here, on the one I've already prepared, you're going to go from one corner to the next on the diagonal. So starting at the bottom and going to the top of that panel. What I'm going to do is lay my ruler down here and then bring in my scoring tool. Go back and forth several times just to make that impression there. And then fold it from point to point, like that. So you have it folded like that, so that when you lift it up, and we'll go back and fold along there, you have your first easel. And you'll just repeat that with the remaining two panels. Here are the 3 easels. But if you just flatten those for a moment, go back over and go over that score line there, you'll see that they start to stay in place. So it's the same as this one, which was cut out using a cutting file. Cover this easel card. I've got these pieces which I've already cut. I've got pieces that I'm going to place here on the top, and then pieces that I'm going to place here on the front. Now you might have double-sided paper, in which case, you know, you could actually get more than one cover out of these pieces, but I'm going to use these single-sided, but then the leftovers I can just use for another version of this card. I'm going to use a trimmer. But if you don't have a trimmer, or if you just prefer to do it by hand, you can easily do that. Just mark a pencil line from corner to corner on the diagonal, and then use your scissors to cut along that line. I'm going to place this so that we have these points inside of the groove. And then hold that down. We'll do the same on all the other pieces. Cut. Put that away. Rubbing in all the pieces. As I said, these are going to go like that. And then this piece will go on top. Flatten that out. Easier to work on a flat surface. So that will leave a little bit of a border around that triangle there. And then this will go onto the bottom. And once I've put these down, I'll just go around and complete the other two easels. You can probably tell from the papers this is going to be a Christmas card. And now I'm going to bring in a piece for the inside, which is cut at 6 3/4 by 4 3/4. To leave a small white border. If you didn't want to have this, you didn't need to, but it just kind of helps to finish it off, since you will be able to see a little bit of the inside. There we are. So you see we have our easel pieces, and now we need to decorate. These. I have these little penguins, which I've fussy cut. I used my scan and cut to cut those out, and then just mounted them on a bit of card. And the same for these little peppermint sweets. These are going to be the stoppers, so they'll go here at the front of each of the easels to keep that from collapsing, and then the penguins are going to go onto the front. So again, I'm going to work flat on this surface. So I'm going to have my penguin in green here, and then I'll have this one there, and that one will be like that. So let's get these stuck down. So I want to avoid any glue going onto this. So that will be enough on the rest of the little penguin to hold it in place without that hat completely stuck down. Move him into place. There we are. And now for the stoppers. I'm going to use the foam tape for these, and then they'll be placed in front here like that. I really fell in love with this when I saw it on Create and Craft. I just thought it was so clever. I really liked that idea. Something just a little different. Easel card. And you don't have to make this for Christmas. It could be for any kind of card. So let's just get these into place. Going to remove the back. Place a little bit of glue on here. And then work it into place. Could have it tilted a little bit. I think that's going to be fine, like that. So, move on to the other two. There are the 3 easels, triple easel, and as I said, I'm just going to call it a split, 3-panel split easel, something like that. And then I'm going to place a sentiment on this first panel here. And the only reason I've decided to have it there is just because I didn't have a little heart on there, so I think that would be a great place for it to go. Sentiment, I've selected this. Happy Holidays. Just going to glue it straight on. Like that. And of course, you could add a bit of white here, something like that, or you could write a message as well. I'm chuffed to bits with this little card. I think that is such a clever use of the easel theme. And whoever it was on the Creative Expressions design team, kudos to you. so much for joining me today for this tutorial on what I'm going to call a split panel easel card or triple easel card. It was actually quite easy to make, and I love the impression that it gives. Something just a little bit different. You're always more than welcome to subscribe to my channel. I hope you will, and that you will also click on the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of my future uploads. Until we meet again, please stay safe and crafty hugs. Bye.